Hello students, welcome to EC Engineering. In this video, I am going to explain you the mesh analysis, introduction part and the procedures to follow. We will see first, then we will pass on to the tutorial related problem. So in a mesh analysis, we consider a loop or a mesh current instead of branch currents. Important point to note, we consider only the mesh current instead of branch currents. For each loop, an equation is written based on Kirchhoff's voltage law, and there are as many equations as the number of loops. Means in a mesh analysis, number of loops is equal to number of equations. How many number of loops? That many number of equations. I will explain you with one example. See here one loop. You can number each nodal points as A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H according to your convenience. Now I am considering a loop A, B, C, D, A. Loop means it's a closed path. So if I am considering a loop like this, then a loop current should be flows in this direction. Let it be I1. So this is our first loop. How many loops? We have one loop, two loop, three loops. So how many equations that we could be able to write? Three equations. First we have to write equation number 1 by considering a loop A, B, C, D, A. Here we have one potential, let it be V1. So potential rise V1 equal to potential drops. Where are the drops? In I1, in I2 we have an drops. Means an voltage drop. What do you mean by voltage drop? Voltage drop means according to Ohm's law, we can write it as, according to Ohm's law, it's written as, let it be some I1 current, means I1 is a current flows through R1. Here we have a nodal point or a junction point where the current differs. This current differs here. Is it so? And what about this current? This current is a loop current I2. So that here a current flows through is I2. Then what should be the current through R2? Here R2 is a resistor in between loop 1 and loop 2. It's in between loop 1 and loop 2. So the influence of current 1 and current 2 should be there. Influence of current means how to write both the currents are flows through. See, the total current I1 comes here and is split up into 2, I2, and here is a current. So how to write a current equation for R2? For that I am giving you one tip. It should be definitely the difference between this current is the difference between two currents. Is it so? What is the current? Either it may be I1 minus I2 or I2 minus I1. Means it's a difference between both the currents. If I am writing an equation for loop 1, then consider it is a difference between I1 minus I2. If I am writing an equation for R means a second loop, then R2 current is I2 minus I1. Fine. Like this we are going to write an equation. Okay, consider the loop 1 and try to write an equation. So here first we have potential rise V1 is equal to potential drop here I1 R1. Here a potential drop across R2. We are writing an equation for loop 1. So here it is R2 into I1 minus I2. Rearrange the expression. So I1 as a common take it as an I1 common, R1 plus R2 minus I2 R2 equal to 1. Consider it as equation number 1. Then write an equation for second loop. How to write a second loop equation? Second loop equation, here there is no voltage source, potential. So potential rise is equal to 0. No voltage source supplies a current. It receives a current from either V1 or a V2. Fine. So we consider all the current equations in a clockwise direction. So freeze it in our mind. All current equations are in a clockwise directions. Now consider the loop equation for loop 2. So according to this loop equation, according to the loop equation, here we have a current I3. Here the current I3, current I2 through R3. Here in an E, the current again differs. Here we have an I3 through R4, and R5 is a resistor which receives an current either I2 minus I3 while I am writing an equation for loop 2, second loop. If I am writing an equation for third loop, it becomes I3 minus I2 for third loop. Then here one more thing we have to keep it in our mind. Loop 3 already have some voltage source V2. Freeze it. First we will write an equation for second loop, then we'll pass on to the third loop. Okay, coming back with an equation for loop 2. Here we have R2. What should be the current? While we are writing an equation for second loop, then the current equation becomes I2 minus I1 into R2. What is an equation for R3? It is very easier because only one current flows through. So it is I2 into R3. Then what should be R5? Now we are writing an equation for second loop. So R5 receives the current difference of I2 minus I3. See here, I2 minus I3 into R5. Now rearrange an expression. Here we have an I2 current. Here I2, here I2. I2 taken as a common. So it is R2 plus R3 plus R5. Then here we have minus I1 R2. Then here we have minus I3 R5. Potential rise, there is no potential rise, that is equal to 0. Hope you can understand the equation. Then we could able to write an expression for third loop. Now you have to make a key note of the things. Then only it should be easier for you to understand. Make a key note of this. Now we consider all the current flows in a clockwise direction. What it meant is, actually if V2 supplies a current means it should flows in this direction from G, E, F, H. But we consider an equation in the opposite way. So there are two ways to write the equation. We can write an equation first with potential rise is equal to potential drop. If our assumed directions are opposite to that of an actual current direction, then we can make a minus current. That is one way. Then in a second way, we consider a source as an voltage drop. The source as a drop. Fine. If you make a source as a drop, then it will become a positive source. Then it is much easier for you to write an equation. I will let you the things one by one. Now consider loop 3. How to write a loop equation? So we are writing in loop equation 3. So how to write the equation in an usual way? We can write it as R4. The current through the R4 is I3. So that R4 into I3. Then what is the current through R5? If we are writing in loop equation for 3, then it is R5 into I3 minus I2, because R5 is a resistor in between loop 2 and loop 3. Now how to write V2? See, now in this case we consider V2 as an voltage drop. So plus V2 equal to 0. I am not considering it as a source. If I am considering it as a source, then we can apply potential rise is equal to potential drop. It also delivers some current. So actually there should be two currents through V1 one current and V2 one current. So you may have a chance to make it as a confusion. I will explain you in Tamil also. இப்போ இந்த ஈக்குவேஷன்ஸுக்கு இருக்க கரண்ட் எல்லாமே V1 சோர்ஸஸ் அப்ளை பண்ணுறதா நம்ம கன்சிடர் பண்ணியிருக்கோம். இப்போ V2வை நான் கன்சிடர் பண்ணேன்னா திருப்பி ஒரு கரண்ட் டைரக்ஷன்ஸ் நம்மளுக்கு குழப்பமாயிடும். அதனால இந்த இடத்துல V2வை எப்படி இங்கெல்லாம் ஒரு வோல்டேஜ் ட்ராப் இருக்குது, இங்கே ஒரு வோல்டேஜ் ட்ராப் இருக்குதுன்னு சொல்கிறோமோ அதே மாதிரி இதை ஒரு வோல்டேஜ் ட்ராப்புங்கிற மாதிரி, இது சோர்ஸ் ஆக்சுவலாக அதை ஒரு வோல்டேஜ் அப்படின்ற மாதிரி நான் எடுத்துக்கிறேன். இங்கெல்லாம் ட்ராப் ஆகும், பட் இங்கே இது சோர்ஸ் வோல்டேஜாக இருக்கும். அதனால இதை ப்ளஸ், இதுவும் ஒரு வோல்டேஜ் தான். R4 வழியாக போகிற R4ல் இருக்கிற வோல்டேஜ், இது R5ல் இருக்கிற வோல்டேஜ், இது V2ங்கிற ஒரு வோல்டேஜ் அப்படிங்கிற மாதிரி கன்சிடர் பண்ணியிருக்கோம். ஃபைன். ஸோ தட் we can write an equation accordingly. Hope you can understand. Coming back to, so we already framed two equations, equation number 1 and equation number 2. Now, so how we are writing? I3 R4 plus V2 plus I3 minus I2 into R5 equal to 0. Now rearranging an expression, here it becomes minus V2. Here we have one I3, here one I3. So take I3 as a common, R4 plus R5. Here minus I2 into R5. Let it be some expression number 3. Now rearrange all the equations. I will show you again. Consider all the loops. We have 3 loops, so 3 equations. Rearrange the expressions one by one. According to expression number 1, we can write I1 R1 plus R2 into I1 minus R2 into I2 equal to V1. Then consider equation number 2. Here minus R2 into I1. Then here R2 plus R3 plus R5 into I2. Then minus I3 means R5 into I3 equal to 0. Then consider equation 3. According to equation 3, minus V2, there is no I1, so 0 I1, but I2 is minus R5 I2, I3 R4 R5 into R4 plus R5 into I3. Accordingly, we can rearrange 3 equations. Now we can write it in a matrix form. So according to this, in a matrix form, I1, I2, I3, I1, I2, I3 equal to means Ri equal to V according to Ohm's law. So what are all the V sources? V1, 0 minus V2. How many currents? 3 loops, 3 currents, I1, I2, I3. What is the coefficient of I1 according to equation number 1? R1, R2 minus R2. There is no I3, so 0. Similarly, here in equation 2, in an equation 2 rearrangement, coefficient of I1 minus R2. Coefficient of I2 written here. Coefficient of I3 minus R5. Then equation rearrangement of equation 3, there is no I1, so 0. Minus R5 minus R5. R4 plus R5, R4 plus R5. Likewise, matrix forms were framed. Then according to Cramer's rule, we can find accordingly all the currents I1, I2, I3, where I1 is equal to determinant of I1 divided by determinant. Then I2 equal to del I2 by del. Then I3 equal to del I3 by del. What is del? It's a total determinant value. See here, the total determinant value is in a denominator. Then what is del I? In a del I, ith place means the first column replaced with an voltage source. So while you are writing an equation for del 2, the second column replaced by source. Then for del I3, the third column replaced with voltage source. Accordingly, we have to solve the problem. So this is the method to solve a mesh analysis. Then we will see in the rest of the problem tutorial in the next video. Students, hope you can understand the video. You go through the video once again, then it is much useful for you to solve the tutorial related problem. Thank you.